Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I am Jessica, and this is Unite Inside. And we help people unite with all the parts inside of them. And in this video, this is another lesson of my self healing course. And I want to talk about something that a lot of people really need in their spiritual journey and healing journey. So, in this video, I want to talk about your relationship with yourself, your emotional body, and how to have a better relationship with yourself. And the reason why I'm making this video is because it is extremely important to build a beautiful relationship with ourselves, a connected one, a, a relationship that's built um, with love. It's built with compassion, patience, and also um, absolute trust. And so that's why it's important to understand your relationship with yourself. And a lot of times, because we are created in this society, what happens is that we come from places where people normalize having an abusive relationship with yourself. And I know that this might sound crazy, but a lot of us don't actually get educated about how to treat ourselves and how to take care of who we are properly, how to be that person that can actually take care of us. Our parents don't really teach us this. They might help us a lot in our lives, but they don't really teach us how to regulate our emotions. They don't teach us how to properly um, feel ourselves and our emotions and the relationship that we have with ourselves. They don't help to create a bond that can last a long time, that can actually help us to overcome any obstacles in our lives. And really, when you have a bad relationship with yourself or a complicated relationship with yourself, then you find yourself in situations that are very bad, and you see that you are the one damaging yourself. You are the one sabotaging your life. You're the one that's not setting yourself up for success. And that is because you don't think that you should do that. That's why. A lot of times we don't actually believe that it is in our hands to change our future. We think that we have to get someone else from the outside to do something in our lives that will help us. We think we wait for someone to come to our lives to actually save us from ourselves and from the miserable life that we're living, but we don't know that we can be the very person that can take us out of any situation. And that is one thing that is very important that I'm here to tell you about, because the importance of building a very deep and a connected relationship with yourself is going to set you up for a lot of success. It's going to help you in your life so that you are helping yourself and not damaging yourself. So that when you are in a situation, when you feel depressed, you help yourself with a higher consciousness. From a higher consciousness, you take decisions that are aware, that are wise, that take you to the right decision, take you to the right path, take you in this really beautiful um, direction in your life where you can meet everything that you have ever wanted, whether it's opportunities, people, or on the other hand, if you have a bad relationship with yourself, you will ruin your life. You will be the very person that stands in the way of your success, because a lot of times we have all these habits, we have all these tendencies that we tend to do, like, for example, not respecting our emotions, not respecting our boundaries. For example, doing something that is damaging of us, whether it's eating foods that is not good for us, or maybe even like um, not getting enough sleep, treating ourselves with such, you know, cruelty, negative self talk, talking to ourselves in a low way, like we are, you know, not like we are someone that we love, like the opposite of talking to ourselves like we are our own lover. And that's something that we do a lot with ourselves, and you have no idea how much that is actually damaging yourself and your life, because every time you tend to do something that is not really helpful of you and you know that you shouldn't be doing it, you put yourself in a position where that thing is likely to happen again and again and again. And then when you have this series of things that are bad that you do every day to damage yourself, with time it's going to start to take a it's going to start to show you that there is bad results. Like for example, um, you start to get depressed, you start to get um, emotional and triggered, irritated out of nowhere, and you don't know why. Bad mood, you don't love yourself, you don't like yourself, everything doesn't seem to be going your way, and then you wonder why. Why am I in such a miserable position in my life? And this is why I am here to tell you that it's because you have a bad relationship with yourself. So, what are the signs that you have a bad relationship with yourself? Sign number one is that you don't respect your emotions. And what does that mean? What do I mean with this? What I mean with it is that you don't have a routine or a habit of tuning into your emotions on a daily basis and checking in with yourself and trying to see if you are regulated, if you need anything emotionally, if there is anything that a part of you is trying to tell you or express to you. And a lot of times we go on with our day and we don't really check in with ourselves emotionally, especially if you're a woman. When a woman has mostly a lot of emotions, and so that's why a lot of women are angry and irritated. It's because they don't have the ability to, they haven't, not that they don't have the ability, but they haven't created that type of um, healthy habit to just do a lot of inner self-care, where you meditate, you journal, you talk to yourself, you try to see what's going on within myself, what is happening, why am I feeling so out of place, so out of, you know, norm? Why is there so much going on within myself? And when you try to just quiet everything around you, and instead of being busy all the time, if this is something that you're going through and you feel that you are somebody that has so many diseases, or maybe even like mental health issues, where there is anxiety, you have panic attacks, you have depression, you even maybe um, diagnosed by the bipolar disorder, or whatever it is, whatever it is that you're going through when it comes to your mental health. If that's what's happening, then you really do have to quiet your life and find time for yourself. You have to find time for yourself to just be with yourself and just explore all these different emotions that you're going through, and journal or whatever you have to do with them that will help you, even like expressing them to somebody else that you trust, maybe, just so that you can come into um, this place of, being in tune with them. That will help you so much. And I promise you that your mental health and your spiritual progress does depend on doing this. And the reason for that is because a lot of times when we ignore those emotions that we have that come up a lot on a daily basis, we suppress them and we deny them. We don't want to look at them, we avoid them. And what happens is that they come up in different ways, in different other ways, that we are not expecting them to come up in those ways. Like, for example, they might come up as a habit to drink too much or eat too much. They might come up as a way to avoid other people and avoid engaging in communication with people that you love. And then you end up ruining relationships that you are part of, that you would love to keep being a part of, but you end up ruining them because now you don't know what to do, because they triggered certain emotions in you and you just want to avoid it, so you don't want them to remind you of it. So that's why I want you to know that one of the first signs that you are absolutely ignoring, that you have a bad relationship, is ignoring your emotions and not having any type of self-care that has something to do with your feelings. Okay, so that is one sign. The second sign that you have a bad relationship with yourself is look at your patterns. Okay, so if you want to understand what is a healthy relationship with yourself and what is an unhealthy relationship with yourself, understand that it simply means that you have a higher consciousness. You are able to tap into that higher consciousness within yourself and take decisions or create patterns that are good for you, that are healthy for you, emotionally and physically. So if you see that you have any patterns in your life that you don't think are actually healthy for you, whatever it is, like for example, emotional habits that can be bad for you can be like jumping from a relationship to another one, um, being addicted to other people's attention, not being able to love yourself, ignoring yourself, betraying yourself and your boundaries, letting go of yourself too much, and instead putting other people on a pedestal, um, looking at other people as if they are better than you, not recognizing your worth and who you are within yourself, and lowering from yourself, seeing yourself in a bad way, um, judging yourself, criticizing yourself, being too hard on yourself. Um, I'm thinking about just so many patterns that someone can be engaging, self hate patterns, where you even um, put yourself in situations where you know you will be betrayed because you have this pattern, because you're trying to prove something unconsciously to yourself. And so, all these patterns are a sign that you have been engaging in a very, very unhealthy relationship with yourself. And when you see it like this, we can understand that the way out from this cycle of having a bad relationship with yourself is to recognize that it is important to change it. It is important, and it does affect us so much in our lives. Every time you criticize yourself, you feel criticized, you feel belittled, you feel bad about yourself. And so it does affect you. You might think that, oh, this is myself, this is me. I don't really affect myself that much with what I'm saying, but that is not true. You actually do. Your self image, the way you see yourself, the way you think about yourself, is literally the way you will keep thinking about yourself and you will feel about yourself. And so when you change the way you see yourself, when you decide you're going to treat yourself with respect, you're going to treat yourself like you are someone that you love. Look at yourself in the mirror. You do have love for yourself. It's just that because you've been engaging in such an unhealthy relationship with yourself, it's been such a long time since you had a good conversation with yourself where you are empathetic to your own emotions. So you can just start to notice the first thing you're going to do, and you're going to start with, if you want to break free from this pattern of not being in a good relationship with yourself, is to actually become aware. So awareness will be the first step to breaking this and actually embracing yourself back. So I will say, start to become aware and notice anytime you do something that you feel is not really going to help you, or is not really going to build your life, the life that you want. And I don't want you to try to change it. I don't want you to try to judge yourself or tell yourself, oh, this is bad. I shouldn't be doing this, because a lot of times we are engaged in a certain pattern actually because we feel that there is something that we're taking or getting out of it, like a payoff that we're getting out of it. And that's because we are operating in such a low level that the only thing that we can do in that level is to engage in a low pattern, in a pattern that is not really helpful of us, but that is in of itself is kind of helpful for some part of us that feels starved from attention or love or something. So, with this being said, all I want you to do is notice when you know, okay, so these are the patterns that I am engaging in that are not good for me. So, that is the first part. The second part I want you to do is once you are aware, you know which patterns you are engaging in, the second thing to do is to realize, okay, right now I am going to understand my pattern more. What does that mean? So that's the only thing that I want you to do. I don't want you to rush it. I don't want you to try to make yourself change, because that's the problem. A lot of times when we try so hard or we force ourselves to change a pattern that we are so deeply engaged in, that doesn't work. You might do it for a day or two, but then you're going to stop and it's going to come right back. So, what we want to do is we want to go into the roots of it so that we can finally let go of it completely from the roots of it, you know? Okay, so with this being said, the second thing I want you to do is start understanding. Just understand this pattern of yours more and more. And I want you to do whatever it is that you can do to understand this pattern. For example, if it's the pattern of people pleasing other people and not really loving yourself, start to observe how you're acting around people, what you feel inside your body, anxiety coming up. Is there any thoughts that you have in your mind while this is happening to you? Is there any emotions? How do you really feel about yourself? How does your body feel? Is there any sensations in your body? Is there any pains or aches or even like tight places or tingling or anything. Maybe you feel anxiety. And I want you to write all of that down, or at least take a mental notice of it so that you know what it is. And then later on, I want you to go into a meditation and tell yourself, your consciousness, to show you these emotions again. And I want you to just feel it. Just feel all these emotions, explore them deeply, and let yourself be fully aware of them while they are being brought up to you. And I want you to not take your focus from them and watch as they're changing and becoming something else, becoming a different emotion. And then I want you to follow it wherever it is. If it comes into your brain, your mind, go into your brain with your focus. And then if it goes down to your stomach, go into your stomach. And I want you to start to name these emotions that are coming up for you, or sensations. Like, for example, I am feeling afraid, I'm feeling scared, I'm feeling um, powerless, I'm feeling like I can't do anything about this, whatever it is. So I just want you to keep feeling it and keep understanding what it is. And then once you're done with this process, I promise you, you are going to have such a deeper understanding of that pattern, and you are going to come up with insights on why you even have it at the first place. For example, if your pattern is to people please, you're going to realize, oh, wait a minute, my actual reason why I do this is because there is a deep fear of abandonment. I feel so deeply afraid of being abandoned. And so once you know what it is, and by doing this exercise over and over, you will understand eventually what is it with you, what's the reason why you hold on to this so much. I want you to actually become aware of how much of an actual problem, like how much feelings there is that you have, and how much trauma you have linked to this pattern. I want you to become aware of it deep down and understand yourself, understand and have empathy for yourself. Have empathy that this is how I feel from within. I feel really scared. I feel like um, I don't feel that I have any self worth. I don't feel that I don't know who I am. Like all these things, like I just want you to really give yourself a lot of compassion to everything that's coming up for you and that you're feeling. And instead of rushing yourself, I want you to do the opposite of that. Be more patient and just give yourself more compassion. Give yourself more more excuses to just feel these emotions that you have. And the more you do that, that's your way of getting inside yourself. And that is how you're going to be able to break this pattern, Because the more you do this, and I know that it might not sound like this is going to work, but it does work. The more you give yourself and your emotions compassion and love, and you can come closer to yourself, the more your heart is going to open up from within. It's like having a relationship with someone else. When you listen to them and you have a full heart and you understand them, they come closer to you. They open up more. It might even help them in their own life to change their pattern, and same for you. So that is how I want you to treat yourself from now on, because if we're gonna progress in our spiritual journey or our healing journey, then we really need to understand the fact that we have to love ourselves, and we have to be the ones that encourage ourselves in the best ways. And I'm saying this is how to do it. This is how to do it. Okay, so I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video. In next video, I will share with you maybe more ideas about how to be able to have a better relationship with yourself, and also we will see the next topics and lessons. Okay, so I love you so much, and I hope that you learn how to practice self-healing on yourself, and that is what I'm gonna do in this course with you. So I love you so much, and I will see you very soon.